So, good morning and welcome to this week's Breakfast with Mike. And this week, we're going to talk about time management. Time management is probably the number one thing that separates the top producers from those who want to be. And there's no question about that. And so, what I wanted to do today was to give you 5 tips that could absolutely guarantee that you will start making more money immediately if you start implementing them. And number one is something that is so simple. It's amazing to me more agents don't do it, but you need to have a to-do list. And your to-do list, I don't care if you're a night person or a morning person. If you're a night person, then do your to-do list the night before. This is what I want to accomplish tomorrow. If you're a morning person, fine. Get up, have your coffee, whatever it is you decide to do, and write out your to-do list. Do it right then and there. Okay? Those are automatic. You should absolutely have a to-do list. Now, I'm going to put in like a 1A because this isn't number 2. This is part of the to-do list. The number one thing on your to-do list, without question, needs to be schedule an appointment. Now, for those of you that are big, strong listing agents, then schedule a listing appointment. For those of you that are more on the buyer side, schedule a buyer appointment. For those of you who haven't figured out what you are yet, schedule one of them. Schedule an appointment. Literally every top producer I have ever met wakes up in the morning and says, where's my next listing appointment coming from? We all did the same thing. Many still do the same thing. Where's my next listing appointment coming from? Now, I can tell you with top agents, it's typically coming out of their core, their network. But when they don't get it out of their core, guess what? They go do something else. They don't say, well, that's not working today. They go do something else. Call an expired, call a FSBO, whatever. But they don't settle for no appointment. Schedule an appointment and make sure that you're focused on that every single day. It needs to be at the top of your list. Number 2, because some of you are sitting there going, yeah, but I put this one in there for all those yeah butters. Change your voicemail. If you decide you're going to make phone calls at a certain time of day, those are the students that know me know that my scheduled time for phone calls was between 2 and 4. Now, is that because that's when the most amount of people were home? No. That's because I tried mornings, I tried afternoons, I tried evenings. I was able to schedule what I needed to schedule to hit my goals between 2 and 4. So that's what I stuck with. If I called at 7 o'clock at night, is it likely there would have been more people at home? Yeah. I didn't want to work nights. And I could schedule what I needed to schedule between 2 and 4. And coincidentally, many times when I would talk to somebody between 2 and 4, I could say to them, okay, if we're going to get together, why don't we get together at 2 o'clock? I already know they're home today. Good chance they're going to be home tomorrow too. So it allowed me to schedule my appointments during the day. I know if you're newer, you can't afford to turn around and say no to people. You're going to go nights. I get that. But the goal here is time management. You have to think of your time as an investment. Where do you want to invest your time to get the greatest return? That's what we're looking at. So if you schedule your appointments, that gives you an edge. But every single day, we have distractions. This guy called, that lady called, this person, I got to go. I do. So change your voicemail to reflect what your day should look like. My voicemail said, I'm going to be on appointments between 2 and 4. I'll be returning calls after 4. There have been all kinds of studies that have been done about when people think you're going to call them back. Depends on the study you looked at, but the average time was 3 minutes. If you said, I'm going to call you right back, they expected to hear from you within 3 minutes. So if you don't call them back, now you're in trouble again. But what if your voicemail said, I've got appointments all morning, actually going right up till 4 o'clock. I'll be returning calls today between 4 and 5. When are they going to expect you to call them back? Between 4 and 5. And if I were you, I'd call them at 4. Because you already know some of the people you're working with and who you could call back at 4:30 and who you better call back at 4. But either way, you don't call them back right now. That's the distraction. That's what gets us knocked off track. And so we don't stay focused on our goals simply because we get distracted. Change your voicemail. Now, for those of you that are going to sit there and go, yeah, but, what if I forget? Here, I'll give you another tip. We'll call this, what is it? What are we on? Oh, we're on 2A. Put in an appointment in your phone, a daily appointment. And that daily appointment is going to say something really simple. Change voicemail. So if you're struggling with this and your day starts around 8 o'clock, 5 minutes to 8, my daily appointment is going to go off. The alarm's going to go off and it's going to say change voicemail. Oh, geez, I forgot. Yeah, I got to change it. Because the worst thing that can happen when you change your voicemail is it says, today's Tuesday and it's Thursday. Because now they think you're an idiot. So daily, you need to change your voicemail. And if you do that, you won't get distracted. I've been on calls with students where their phone will go off and they actually turn around and say, I better take this. I got a question for you. Any of you who are students of mine, or even if you're not, if every time we got on a call, I looked at my phone and I spent more time looking at my phone saying, oh, I got to take this, how would you feel? Not very important. Not like you were the most important thing I was dealing with at that time. And you want to feel that way, don't you? Don't you want, when you're calling somebody like that, don't you want to feel like this is important? If they keep saying, oh, I got to take this. No. I never had to worry about it because my stuff went to voicemail. They knew when I was going to call them. 4 o'clock. That's when I would return calls. Number 3 is develop standards. We were talking a little bit earlier this morning before we started recording this about who to work with. I had a little thing that I learned from Floyd. And he made us rate buyers and sellers on a scale of 1 to 5. Everybody we dealt with. By the way, when I was training for him, he used to do the same thing. He would have us rate the brokers that we were trying to talk to, 1 to 5. And then he said, I don't care where you draw the line. Where you draw the line is up to you. But where you draw the line becomes your standard. Don't work below your standard. So if your standard is a 3, well, I'm not giving up on the 2s, but I'm not putting them in my car either. I'm not going over on a listing appointment because if they're a 2, that's not a listing appointment. That's just a visit. You decide where you want to draw the line, but draw the line. And don't tell me you're going to draw the line at 1 just because you're broke. Because if that's what you do, you'll stay broke. You'll keep working the ones, and they won't put any money in your pocket. Oh, once in a while you'll close a deal, just to keep your head above water, but you'll never make any real money. Develop your standards. Number 4, you need to build 3 networks. You want to start making money in our business? You need to build 3 networks. I teach my one-on-one students this all the time. 3 networks. The first network is your core people. Don't confuse this with your sphere, because your sphere is going to be a lot bigger than your core. Your core, right at the center. The core people are the people that if you asked them to, they would hold a billboard that says, this is my realtor, and they'd stand on a corner for you. They would go to battle for you all the time. Those are your core people. Your sphere people like you, but they won't go to battle for you. Your core will. Now, I teach students that your core should never be more than 40 people. I learned it. When I learned it, mine was 50. I didn't know any better. Somebody stood on a stage and said, I don't think you should close less than 50 deals. And I went, woo, 50 deals. Yeah, I'm going to do that. By the way, the year before I closed 6. And I went from 6 to 51 the next year. Why? Because that was my goal. And I did everything I could do to hit that goal. Over the years, I've learned that most people can't handle 50. They got spheres that are bigger than 50, but they can't handle cores. And we came up with the number 40 because if you only call 2 a day, just 2 stinking calls a day, 5 days a week, that's 10 a week times 4 weeks, that's 40 for the month. If you call just 2 stinking people a day that are part of your core and just say hi to them, let them know you're thinking about them. You will call everybody in your core once a month. You don't need to talk real estate. Matter of fact, don't talk real estate, because if you keep talking real estate, they'll stop taking your call. Don't talk real estate. Talk about all the things that are going on in their life. Because if you do that, they'll always remember you. The second network you need to build is an agent network. People to help you sell your listings. People to help you when you've got a buyer that can't find anything in realtor.com or MLS, but you know who the top listing agents are that don't always have everything ready for MLS right away, but they know what's coming. It's down the road. Don't say coming soon. That's not what it's about. But they'll do that. You need to build networks of agents. I've said this for years. If MLS got hacked and went down, how would you sell your listings if you couldn't use MLS? What would you do? Because if you went and asked a top producer, how would you sell your listings other than MLS? They would say, what do you mean? I got a whole bunch of agents that they can't wait to find out what I'm going to put on the market. They're showing it all the time. See, they've got that network. They didn't treat it the way I did. They didn't build it. But they've got it. Every top producer knows who they would call. Every one. And the third network you need to build is a network of vendors. Vendors should include your mortgage people, home inspectors, attorneys, title companies, well diggers, septic service, everything that's roofers, everything that has to do with the house. You should have a list of vendors. Now, I know NAR turns around and gives you all kinds of guidelines about how many people you should and shouldn't use, but I will tell you this, every top producer I've ever met has vendor lists, and it usually doesn't have more than 3 names on it. Mine only had 2. I had 2 people from each category. Oh, you can't do that. Yeah, I know. Wait, I'm recording this. I didn't say that. No, I did. I used to have two names. By the way, I still do. Even now, you turn around, call me up in my area, and you need a plumber, electrician, I'll give you two names. Now, some of you will say, well, I don't have that yet. Talk to your core people. They'll tell you who their favorite vendors are. That's where I got my list from. I didn't need to use them. It was all my core people that were using them because they used them over and over and over and over. And so then I would try them and say, wow, these guys are good. And then number 5, by the way, what was number 1? I forgot. Do you remember what number 1 was? Oh, yeah. Number 1, to-do list. And make sure you put something to schedule it right there first. Schedule an appointment, right? Number 2, change your voicemail. Let it reflect what your day is going to look like. Number 3, develop standards and stick to them. Everybody in my area knew what I charged. Well, you can't do that. That's price fixing. No, it's not. I could have a standard, and I did. I met somebody years ago. There's somebody on this call that's met them as well. And this person had a waiting list. She had a waiting list. She would only work with 20 people at one time. She only had 20, whether it was listings, buyers. When she got to 20, you went on her waiting list. I'd never heard of a waiting list. And here's the best part. She charged more than anybody else in the area. She charged more for you to go on her waiting list. Yeah, I'd love to help you find a house, but right now I'm full up. Guess what they'd do? They'd offer to pay her more. All these people that are saying you're overpaid, you're not overpaid. If you have services to deliver, you're not overpaid. So what's number 5? Well, I'm gonna say something I normally don't, but I'm gonna say it anyway. Number 5 is hire a coach. If you want to start getting your game management skills in line, you need to have somebody that will hold you accountable. I've probably lost more people because of that. Because most agents don't want to be held accountable. Most top producers do, but most agents don't. And they'll quit before they'll change. Somebody once wrote, definition of insanity is doing the same thing over and over, expecting a different result. And that's what they do, day in and day out. They don't change. You need to have somebody that holds you accountable. And whether or not that's a coach or not, and by the way, I know some people will say, well, I just don't have the money for that right now. You can't afford not to. For those people that say, I don't have the money right now, you can't afford not to. Because I'll guarantee you, there are other things in your life that if something went wrong, you would find a way to take care of it. Whatever it is, you would find a way to take care of it. And you need to do the same thing with a coach. Now, if all of a sudden you're looking at going, well, I can't afford to pay, $1,000 a month or something like, well, there are plenty of coaches out there that don't charge that and will still hold you accountable. It's not the money that's stopping you. It's the change. The change is what stops you. I've done this with students over the years where I turn around, they start struggling with money, and I'll say, fine, don't pay me. Don't pay me. But we're not giving up on the coaching. And they'll turn around and go, well, what? Well, that technique of, I don't know what, because they think it's the money. It's not the money. It's never the money. I did that during COVID. Guys couldn't afford me. I said, fine, we're still going to go. I had two people that turned around, didn't even realize I stopped charging them. It's not about the money. It's about the accountability. That's what a coach is for. It's all about accountability. And when you can't let somebody help you hold you accountable, nothing's going to change. The only thing that's constant in our world is to change. That's the only constant there is. And if you want to get better, you need to change some things. So there's 5 tips that can help you start making money like immediately. Oh, wait, they'll require change. I hope you're ready for it. I'm going to turn off the recording and let these guys throw some questions at me. Maybe next time we'll see your face on these calls. In the meantime, have a great weekend. We'll talk to you later.